this the babe?
Okay.
Wait, is this the babe?
Okay. I think you have a better. I think you have a better. You have a better scope of the conversation now.
No, no, no,
But
no,
with
no,
what
no.
activity?
Wait. Thomas, with all due respect, already disrespecting me. So, LMH's network is apparently facing a lot of problems. Your network is facing a lot of problems because you have a caption. You have a caption that is affecting you. It's not Airtel.
You know what?
You have a caption that is bringing down your network.
You know
Your
what?
caption says "Preps downfall, inject it here." That's why since we started recording, before we even started recording, you have been going off and on and off and on and
I
off and
would.
on.
It's Airtel. It's Airtel that is. It's Airtel that is misbehaving. I want.
See, he has gone off again. So you keep saying Airtel, but this is Pep downfall, inject it here. Anyways, as we were saying, the statement I made was very simple. Man City are 2 points of the second position. The second position is Arsenal. Except you are saying Arsenal is no longer in the title race. Then I don't think that conversation around title race or no title race is done. You can't say it's done. It's too early.
Annie, at game week 13 for Abby, Bright is just clowning, Jerry. Oh my God.
So
You did watch this NFL?
Yeah, I'm watching the Steelers game. I'm watching
but that Steelers game is close.
But the thing there is, I feel like this Steelers game, if the Steelers should go 10 up, because they are currently 3 up now.
3 up, yeah.
13 seconds to end the first half. If Steelers should go 10 up, and why are they not taking a timeout?
They can't go 10 up. They have 3 seconds.
They don't have a timeout.
Yeah, they have 3 seconds. I don't think they have a timeout.
Oh, I thought they had a timeout. Oh.
And
no,
I mean,
they can make a
field
3
goal.
seconds. Yeah, field goal, no. Oh, they don't have a timeout, but Cincinnati has a timeout. Oh, okay.
It's only a field goal they can go. Wait. What year are they even safe? I think
they are 15. Yeah, now 15-yard line.
Okay, so they can just.
I think they had timeouts. They probably be able to make what's called. If they can get it to,
they've brought in their kicker now.
Yeah, I can see.
So
if they go up by 10, their defense is crazy enough to continue to stifle Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's defense cannot really stop Pittsburgh. It's evidence in what has happened in this first. Even that first 7 points that that since Bengals got was a fluke, because if George Pickens did not fall down, there's no way he would have gotten that interception for the return. So, but it's AFC North. Anything can happen in AFC North. I'm sure Pittsburgh wants to win this game, and then they'll be rooting for Eagles to do the thing against Ravens.
No. Who is stopping in the AFC?
I think it's still Steelers. Let me check. I think it's still Steelers.
Oh boy, almost a pick. Mad. This Arizona Vikings game. We should apologize to see this Sam Darnold though.
So Steelers are currently leading the AFC North. They have 8 wins, 8-3. If they win this game, they will be 9-3. Ravens are 8-4. So they'll be hoping that Ravens lose to the Eagles this night, so that Ravens can have 5 losses, and then they'll still play. I think the Steelers will still play the Ravens. I'm coming. Let me see. They still have games against. Oh, they actually have back-to-back games against these Bengals. So if they play now, they are playing in Cincinnati. Next week they are going to Pittsburgh to play. Oh no! Let me confirm. Let me confirm that.
But why did they do that? Also,
let me confirm. No. It's not next week. They play now. Then they play Browns. They play Browns. After they play Browns, then they play the Eagles.
Well, that's a tough one for them.
That's a tough one. Even Eagles, I'm looking at that means the Eagles schedule is crazy coming up. The Eagles schedule coming up because you play Ravens today. Okay, then you have Panthers in between. Then you play
Are you
Steelers.
feeling confident so far about Eagles like this?
Yes, I am because no. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
You know, said
The
that
kind
me pick Eagles. Say even if Chiefs don't actually repeat the what's it called Super Bowl again, probably the next pick will be Eagles.
so the reason why I'm feeling the what's it called? What I'm feeling the Eagles is that the style of play that they are playing is not elaborate, is not splashy every time. The reason why that last season was not successful is that they're always throwing, they're always having big plays, they're only relying on only big plays. But
Mm-hmm.
this season you have a situation whereby they are methodical, run the ball, take the check downs, to AJ Brown, to Calcaterra, to what's it called, the tight end, Dallas Goddard. Just take small methodical plays, and because they have the quality offensive line, they
Mm-hmm.
can manage the clock, and that's something that Chiefs also does very well. Where before now that they're having problem with that left tackle, one thing Chiefs will do is that in the time of possession in the first half, out of the 30 minutes, Chiefs will probably take like 18, 19 minutes. So if they've already taken 18, 19 minutes out of the time, what does that mean? It means that you as a as a team, you have just 11 to 12 minutes to work with. So when your time of possession has already reduced, that means the number of possessions you have, you definitely reduce.
Or reduce
That will
to, yeah.
definitely reduce how many points you can score. So if you're able, that's the number one thing to be able
And
to
the only
do.
way you can actually do that is also to run the ball,
You have
like
to
hunt
run.
the
You have
ball,
to have,
run the ball,
and you have to have the offensive line that
hmm
can, run the ball down people's throats.
and would
Because
never get tired. Yeah.
that's the only way. Because last season, Eagles defense was always on the pitch. Like in a game of maybe 60 minutes, the defense is playing like 38, 39 minutes. So no matter how good your defenders are, by the time they are running the ball at their defenders, they are on the field for long. After like 25 minutes of play from defense alone, they'll get
hmm
tired. By the time you get to the fourth quarter, then they'll start gashing them. They'll start gashing them.
Which of these do you think is more difficult? Like in terms of for like an offensive linesman, actually, is he the ability to run the ball or the ability to actually hold up defenders
Pass
in the
protection.
pocket? Yeah, pass
No,
protection.
I think running the ball is easier for them
It's
because
easier for them, really.
yes, I think running the ball is easier for them because when they are running the ball, they are not waiting. They are not
Mm.
in defense because yes, they are on offense, but when it's in pass protection, they are in defense because they are trying to stop you from coming.
Stop you from coming.
So
Yeah.
they are, and in the process, they are subject to your moves, your counter moves. They don't
hmm
know what's going on at their back. They don't really have an idea
That
what is
makes
happening.
sense.
But
hmm
when it's a run play, they know exactly what they are going to do. They are not waiting for you to come to them. So
hmm
they are going. If you see them, even O line generally, if you ask them, they are more excited about run
Running the
plays
ball. Yeah, run
because
plays.
they know they are okay. What is the protection we are in for this run play? We are like this. We are going like this. They go straight, go and meet whoever they are going to block the person, and then try to create the hole. But in pass protection, they are not. A lot of things can go wrong. They don't really know what's going on at their back. They have to be watching for the defenders move. They can't really protect themselves. They don't really know exactly what will happen. So
hmm
I think running the ball is O line's best. That's why you see Jeff Stoutland, continue to enjoy himself in Philly because they run the ball every time.
Run the ball. Yeah.
So running the ball is like the best of the best for all lines.
Because I always think that when you run the ball, you're trying to wear down the defense, but at the
Defense,
same time,
yes.
you're also getting tired too. If you continue to run the
So
ball,
so there's something that I've so in there's conversations in sports psychology and analysis that they've said sometimes when they run a play to a tight end to give him the possession, maybe one or two pass catches early in the game. The reason why they do some of those pass catches is that to keep the tight end active so that he's happy to block.
oh, okay.
When offensive linemen are blocking and making run plays, because they are making creases, they are pushing people down, they are the ones providing the force. They are excited. compared to the linemen that throughout the game you are being pushed back. That's because the difference in pass protection and in run protection is that in run protection you are like waiting to stop the what's it called. Yes, there are sometimes depending on the call you are trying to push the defensive lineman out, but in run protection most times because he's forward, you are trying to get 6 yards, get 3 yards, so you are always initiating, you are always with one providing the force. So there's a difference between withstanding it and giving it. So yes, it's not as if you will not get any sort of fatigue, but there's a difference. It's just like in boxing, two people boxing. Both of them are going to get tired, but the person that's supplying the punches, you will not be tired as the person that is chopping everything. So that's the so yes, even the online should be tired, but when you are the one delivering the hit, you are the one pushing forward. Is way different. And then the energy, because successfully running the ball means that you are dominating.
Yeah.
It means that you are dominating.
Yeah, so
You're
it's
having
like
time.
momentum and it also
Yes,
affects the
you're having time of
psychology of the defender.
you're having time of possession. Maybe they got you in 3rd and 1. They stop you to 4th and 1. You run the ball again. You get your first down. Then that's the D-line are frustrated. You understand? That's what Patrick Mahomes used to do to people. Where if you get to a point, it's 3rd and 16. Okay, we're about to keep him off the field. All of a sudden, you call scramble, give you 17 yards, first down. Then you're like that mental frustration alone of and we're about to get this, so we're about to keep him off, and then you get the first down.
It's an interesting question because it's one of the many myths I always try to understand when it comes to football. And there's another myth again too about tight ends, right? I'm like always thinking also like in terms of like how much should a tight end actually weigh to be very athletic and also to be able to block.
So from what I've observed, especially so you need to remember that the game, let's say 15 years ago, and the game today is different. Before, not all tight ends were expected to catch 1,000 yards in a season until people like Shannon Sharp came. And if you remember, Shannon Sharp was actually a receiver.
Yeah, it was a receiver. Yeah,
he was drafted as a receiver.
Yes,
but
I was converted in Broncos.
Yeah, converted to again. So before, yes, you have to be way bigger and all that. But now, depending on the team, depending on the kind of scheme they run. For example, this Pittsburgh, they have this Daniel Washington guy, their tight end. He's playing now.
That guy is so huge.
Because Pittsburgh like to run the ball every time.
Because I don't see him catch balls a whole lot of the time, honestly.
Exactly. So he's a tight end.
Yeah. They prioritize blocking first. Yeah, they prioritize
exactly.
blocking first.
He can catch the ball because I saw one particular possession where they were 3rd and 2 and he caught the ball. He can catch the ball, but his priority most times is to block.
And again, I don't think he's athletic enough to also for pass options as a tight end.
It's not like this guy.
It's not like Kelsey,
Brock Bowers. That guy is Raiders.
But that guy is athletic, but he also lacks the blocking scheme.
So I think it's more of, so you need to understand how the coach wants to use you. He's the best receiver on the team in that Raiders team since Devante Adams left. So if and he had about 100 plus yards against the Chiefs, who have one of the best defense in the league. Yeah. If the team knows that this is our best pass catcher, we don't want to wear him down blocking.
That makes sense.
You cannot even tell now. You can't really say for now if he's the best, if he has blocking skills or not. But I think
he doesn't have the size
from what's it called? What's the name of that is college self? And he was,
I think it's Michigan
college. College is different, you can block as you like in college. But what I think is happening in Raiders is that he's their best pass catcher. So the last thing you need for a pass catcher is for him to now expend energy blocking, because blocking is is a lot of energy you're spending to block. So I think it's a case of this guy, we need him on this flank. The guy is literally running routes like a receiver, making one hand catches, off the shoulder catches, different. So you don't want him to start blocking. So, and again, like this Kyle Pitts guy in Atlanta. There are sometimes that that okay, yes, he's a tight end, but he's more of a receiver. So you design your scheme the way
I
to
think
function.
most times from their physique, you can easily tell what they're actually best at.
Except for beasts like McAndrews that can block
Yeah, that can block.
gravity and
That
can
guy
still
is mad,
catch
and not
and
just
can still catch.
and Kittles too.
George Kittle.
And it's
Even
because
this
those guys are
even
maniacs
this
first. They're maniacs.
Noah Gray in what's it called, the Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah,
He's been coming up. I think they have been doing a lot of
scheme for
how would I
him.
put this? Yeah, to see him
And
free up a bit more.
the thing is that one of the ways Chiefs uses him is for him to run deep down the field.
So
For because
not,
Chiefs they use two tight ends at the same time sometimes.
yeah.
So when Kelsey runs like a very short route, Gray
He's
is
the one that
already
will
running
go.
a deep route.
Mhm.
It's a very crazy scheme for them like that. I mean, away from the NFL, Joe, Bright, you can take us take us to the next
You
highlight.
can't be having Pep's downfall injected here,
I
and
would
you
do
see
love.
he has ah.
Oh
Oh my
boy.
god. Okay, so I think maybe maybe I don't know how long we are going to stay here, but anyways, I think one thing I'll just bring up, maybe we'll talk about NBA a little bit.
Yeah.
What has been happening in the NBA. And maybe the first thing I want to ask you is, I don't know how much of the NBA I've been watching. I've not really been watching a lot, this current time difference, and you guys are currently on this what's it called, daylight saving, so it makes it a
Mhm.
bit longer here too. So from observing what has been going on in the NBA and the amount of threes that have been playing, that people are playing, do you think someone like the Cavs, do you think they can get to the NBA final?
Do I think they can get to the NBA final?
Yes.
For one reason, I am not 100% sure. I'm not even 80% sure. Let's put it at
So
that.
okay,
I
so
mean,
can you,
because when a team like this out of nowhere just comes and start like raking all of this record, it almost feels like a fluke to me. You understand? And
okay.
I feel the true test of their what's it called, of their power, or the true test of their ability won't be called into question until the playoff. And in the playoff, things get dicey for these people, for teams like this. Example is the Oklahoma Thunders. I mean, they started their run of like play from last season, but look at the way they ended up. They didn't get to the final, did they? No.
No.
But they were able to run through that playoff and just maybe make their mark. And I think the Cavaliers are actually going to follow the same trend, to be honest.
But if I'm going to play devil's advocate, I would say, but Cavs also, they had the successful season last year. They were fifth in the East. They faced Celtics and they lost, and they had some injuries and they lost.
Okay.
What if someone makes the argument to you and say, oh, they've actually experienced about maybe 2 seasons now
Of success a
of
bit.
of, of success, get to the playoffs, and losing out,
Yeah.
but
So
also get so.
it's
What
still
if I want to make that statement? What do you say?
it's still a problem still. We need to see if they can actually make it to the playoff LD.
Okay.
So that's the part that you see. The only reason why we didn't get to understand like their the extent of their ability or capacity is because they had so many injuries last season, right?
Yes.
Now it's all looking good. This is expected when they are all LD. But me and you know that this regular season is a very long season. And example is for one reason or the other, the Warriors they relied a whole lot on what's his name, Melton. I for once I was looking forward to that guy. If that guy was if it was fit, actually was LD, and he didn't have that injury that he had, I was saying that, you know what, this Warriors team can actually be in the first two positions in the Western Conference. But like
I
now, they don't have enough
yes.
options, and that's one of the reasons why they've actually been losing.
So
They've been on that losing
so
streak for a while now.
I don't think it's a matter of options. I think it's a matter of too many options at this point. Let me explain. So the Anthony Melton was the point of attack defender for the
That's what I'm saying.
Warriors.
Sorry for cutting you. And I think thank you for actually bringing that point. The point was like, aside when you look at when the Warriors teams are not in like transition in terms of attack and they have to like defend, who would you say is that one player that actually, you know what, is a first defensive
Point of
minded player first?
So I think I might be having a bias because we drafted him and I want him to succeed and all that. But I think who I think should actually be replacing what's it called? Should be replacing Melton is Moses Moody. And if you cannot get Moses Moody to replace D'Anthony Melton with the injury that the Warriors have and do a good enough job as a point of attack defender, then probably should be traded. Because you are at the point now where we are playing 13 guys, which everybody knows that in the NBA, your rotation should be 10 or 11, maximum of 12. And when you get to the playoffs, it cuts down to 7 to 9. So the fact that we're playing 13 guys in rotation was actually already a problem because when you play 13 guys in rotation, that means you have just 48 minutes. You have to share minutes with everyone. A lot of players, some people will not get in rhythm. Some people don't know how many minutes they will play. And then if you have a situation like that where there's no direct pecking order other than maybe the first five, players that come in are not playing free. Some of them are playing scared because if they make a mistake, maybe that 3 minutes just finish playing might be the last minute they'll play for the night. So
No,
if you have that at the back of your mind that these 3 minutes I'm playing in this second quarter can be the last minute at the back of your mind, you are not enjoying and playing freely as you should play.
bullish, and that is why he has Steve Kerr has been able to like mix it up. Now, I no one would listen. This is my point. Back to what you said in terms of like how to make sure that the people, your starters and those coming from the bench, are as like competitive as if the starters they never played in the first place. And that was why I actually dropped this guy to the bench. So let's come from the bench. What's his name? The other guy that throws three now.
Lindy Waters.
No, Buddy Hield. At first, I think the first few games, it was used as a starters. But now it's like, you know what? If I want more points from the bench, I need to also drop this guy so that you have a threat in what's it called? Steph Curry as a starter, and also have a threat in Buddy Hield from the bench, along with Kuminga. So he also is looking for that like mix that actually provides threats, regardless. That's what I think. I don't know what you think.
To be honest, I think the more granular problems that we're not good enough, especially if you are going to miss out on someone like Anthony Melton overall.
That guy, defensive. That guy is.
The team is not good enough.
I actually was looking forward to Melton playing. Like when I read the guy's profile, I was like, this guy.
But the thing there is the same thing we talk about. He has been injured for the past 3 seasons. So why do we think for some reason he will not be injured on our team? Because he had the back last season. I think last season he played just maybe 20 something games. He had the back injury. The season before he had another injury. So he has been injured for the last 2-3 seasons. So it was not really like the safest of options to bring him, but it was obviously very cheap. That's why they went for him.
Yeah, before we go back to Bright, please can you finish that your what's it called conversation on Cavaliers?
Okay, so my point about the Cavs is that if you have experienced heartbreak over a couple of times now, and you already have like you are starting the season well, because one of the problems that happens to team is that they get to February, March, and they are fighting for 4th space, 6th space, so they cannot take enough rest for their players. But if you establish enough dominance early in the season, maybe before the first 50 games, you have just maybe 9-10 losses. So you already established a kind of lead where you are guaranteed to be in the first top 3, top 2 of the Eastern Conference. That can help you in terms of how you now manage the later stretch of the season. And the way they play, the way the Cavs play, if Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen are together on the floor, they are defensively very, very versatile. And Evan Mobley is now shooting threes. I don't know how sustainable that is, but he's now shooting threes. So if you have a situation whereby you have those two on the floor together, and your Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, you have a good enough team where I don't think the Celtics were. Yes, they were good and they won the league last season, but I don't think they were world beaters. Let me explain what I mean. They scaled by a lot of teams because the teams that should provide the challenge were not there to provide the challenge. What do I mean? The Bucks, Giannis was injured. He did not even make it out of his own group. Even the Knicks were injured when they played the Pacers, they had like maybe 4 or 5 guys injured. Even Bronson was injured. Then they ended up playing the Pacers. Even when they played the Pacers, what's it called? Tyrese Haliburton was missed like 2 games in the series. Then even when they played when they didn't play 76ers, but when 76ers also played, Embiid was also injured. So you have a situation whereby yes, they got to the final, but and they demolished the Mavs, but they weren't like maybe. I feel like a team with enough game plan, a solid enough game plan, can challenge them for getting to the final from the Eastern Conference. And I think that team is probably the Cavs. And I have a bias. I am pro Kenny Atkinson, and I'll tell you why. Before he was fired from Brooklyn, Kenny Atkinson was the one that took the team to the playoffs with D'Lo, Jarek Allen, Carlos Lavat, and all those guys, and they got to the playoffs and they did well in the playoffs. And Kevin Durant came and then they said, we don't want the sacked him. They went to go and bring in Steve Nash. Kenny Atkinson has always been someone that generally, in terms of X and O, in terms of preparation and setting up the team for success, he would always get the team ready to roll. So if you have Kenny Atkinson there and you have the kind of team they have with the bench that they have, then I think they can be a problem for, and I think they actually have the team to make it to the finals. It now depends on
They stay
injury,
LD, yeah.
health, LD, and stuff like that. So that's the Olote.
Yeah, I know whatever I'm saying now might go tangential to what you guys are talking about, but it sounded like I was clowning, but the fact remains that I'm going to say this bit so that our producer can have work to do. Is the fact that there's a way I can tag this recording, and in week 38 we can come back and say, well, Bryce said it. I'm a United fan, so I will start off by banting United in the sense that
you don't need to bant United. You guys are looking.
Wait. It is. We are all engineering students, so it is simple correlation. So it is as delusional as a Man United fan saying that, you know what, we were in 13th, but we are just 4 points away from top 4. You know what, we can even still challenge for the league. Is that same delusion that would make a Guardiola sympathizer, people that practice self-harm, BDSM, and the likes, to say that you know what they're just 2 points away from Arsenal. We all know that when the going gets thick, Arsenal will filter away. So how far you are from Arsenal is not the issue or grand, because at the end of the day, by May 28th or whenever the season is ending, we all know where Arsenal will stand. So if Arsenal is your own metrics of it's not your own metric of where you should be in the table, you should know that Kabiyesi are fitting Jono. So
wait, before I answer you, I think if you I think I probably tweeted it or I said it on this pod, and I said there's a scenario or there's a universe or there's a case where this season Man City is top of the league or whatever, or they have enough points. Then towards the end of the league, they give them the ban that they're supposed to give them, maybe 30 points or something like that. And then Arsenal, that has been fighting in the last season, is not now second, and Liverpool is second, and Liverpool eventually win, the league. I've made that statement before. So I'm not even talking about Liverpool winning the league or not. I feel like, and again, apart from even that aspect of they can collect ban and then they lose the league, they've won 5 in a row. There's bound for a regression, a 4 in a row, 5 of the last 6. They've won 4 in a row, 5 of the last 6. But there's bound for a regression and what have you to happen. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that even with all the problems they are facing, they are literally 2 points from the second position, meaning that they can qualify for Champions League if they turn the gears on and and if they turn things around. So it's not a wrong statement to make. It's not a wrong statement to make.
I am not saying it's a wrong statement to make. I am just asserting
Liverpool is not infallible.
I am asserting the fact from somebody that has gone to the future and is back here to tell you guys what will happen by week 38. So that is just by the way.
So
Because,
okay, tell us what will happen. Will United make top 4 by week 38?
I don't care. I don't.
No. You cannot tell us. No, you cannot tell us you have gone to look at the future.
My main
Tell
mission
us.
on
We
this
need.
pod,
I
my
want to
main mission on this
I want
pod
to make
tonight.
money. By May,
my
I want to become a
mission-
millionaire in dollars.
Bright, you are a false
My main
prophet.
mission on this
Oh,
You are a
prophet,
tonight-
now. How can you tell me you went
false
to the
prophet.
future?
You can't
You did not
say
check
you went to the
United
future and you
position.
didn't check where United was.
My-
You are a false
my
prophet.
main my main mission on this pod tonight is to bring up topics that are not sporting related.
Okay.
Because that has been the bit of our podcast that has been drawing most of the traffic. So I was hoping that I would get you guys' take on the whole fiasco that has happened, or would I say has escalated within the last 3 days, the Jago and the Tosin scandal. What is your take? Why is Polish laughing now? Like, what's your take on that whole fiasco?
I can't imagine that's what we are using to start a
No,
non-sporting
it's not
related
about-
conversation.
No, it's not bad. It's not a bad place to pick it up.
Let me
Okay,
be sure
should-
that I
should
know what
I-
you're talking about. Wait, let me be sure I know before we start this conversation. Let me be sure I know. Is it the guy that was screaming that I rented house for someone?
Yeah.
That's the
same
Chago
guy
guy.
now.
I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
Okay,
you want me
go on.
to me? I think I'll start, but because my response is gonna be simple and short. There's a saying that goes, you can't. There's no shortcut in success. So do away with do away with what that statement. Do away with it. What you want. I mean, this whole energy around, or this whole what's called narrative right now surrounding men trying to buy their way through into a lady's heart, or getting attention or something, is not sustainable. And if there's any harm that is causing it's even causing harm to some other, I will call them some other good players of the game. That's all I can say. To be honest, that's all I can say.
Is it not good players? She not FIFA when they play.
Like, are we now playing FIFA, or is it not a game of chess?
See.
Anything
What I will say is that is anybody that has money in their account that will spend it. You cannot tell people how to spend their money. If someone decide, as we are like this on this podcast, and someone decide that he wants to take all the money that he has in his account. Let's say the person has 50 million in their account, and they say, okay, I'm going to take this 50 million. I'm going to send it to Tinubu because I think I like what Tinubu is doing. We can shout from now to next year. There's nothing we can do about it. He decided what to do with his money. Now, what I don't like is people clowning him and saying he cannot come out and complain. Now, there are two aspects. You can come out and complain about something. Doesn't mean that anything will happen, or any what's called any he will recover his money back or anything like that. Any action will happen. But he's allowed to complain. He's feeling bad. He's feeling cheated or manipulated. Even though both of them were manipulating themselves. He was manipulating money. She was using Ikebe to manipulate. So,
no. I would not take that, because she had no Ikebe. Like, she obviously has no Ikebe.
I've not seen the baby.
Different strokes, Bright. Different strokes for different folks. What if that is what Jago likes? You can't say she has. In your preference, you say you like a woman with a KB. The guy say, okay, I'm more fine. She get face card. If they mention KB,
I think I would say address that, but let me just let you land. Because where Akin is dragging this thing to, we might not leave this topic tonight.
Is this the babe?
Okay.
Wait, is this the babe?
Okay, I think you have a better scope of the conversation now.
No. Wait. Is this the babe? I'm looking at one picture. I don't know.
I posted that picture on my status now.
It cannot be this babe.
Let me go and check. I never see him.
I don't know if it's still there.
It can't be this babe.
Okay, it's still there.
Okay, she's not bad.
We have like 2 more hours.
Exactly. The filter go low. Honestly, man. Oh no.
Like the way I see it, is the fact that, one, a lot of this thing has to do with exposure, and I don't really blame people like that Jago that go to this length to try and buy their way into a woman's pants, because that's the colloquial understanding of affection
Wait,
and
before we
love
go
that they
there,
understand.
wait. Can we agree, or can we decide that for him to make those kind of purchases and those kind of payments to someone, that means he does not really have value for his money now. The people that see, there are two set of people that can do the kind of things that I claimed I did to the sum of 100 million, whatever I claimed it, and it's not his wife that someone is married to. The kind of people that can make spends like that on a girlfriend or a side chick or whatever are politicians or maybe billionaires. If you are not a politician or a billionaire, then you have to be getting your money from
Bullish. That's why
a
I
source.
said.
Wait, from a source.
Wait.
From a
That's why I
source
said
that is not clean.
sustainable. That's why I say it's not
because
sustainable.
because it does not make sense for you to think that all those things are the normal way to approach someone.
No. You need to know. You need to understand that. You need to understand that this guy gets his wealth from illegitimate sources.
Okay, so
You get?
so
So like,
winning.
like so like no. Like it's just like a triple scale beam. Abi, what was that? What was that stuff? Like it is just like it just balances out. Like like, and there's always also the narrative of scammers don't like being scammed. Shit, you
Oh,
get?
okay.
And people are trying to like justify, not really justify, but drive home the point that finally he feels how like he knows how it feels like to be
But
in a
when we
romantic.
say scammers don't like being scammed, did the girl scam him? So I want us to not dive. I don't want us to, because we are going to post this. So I want us to be because it's not like I have
Let us be
yes, not
detailed,
even not even detailed, but I don't want us to, the context should be different. I don't think there's any conversation around the girl lying to him about
anything.
anything. I think it's a portion, is a function of, oh, I like you, I want you to be maybe for me or whatever, and I want to fund your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
like,
that happens every time.
I feel
There was no gun to his head to demand all those things.
Or there was no say, and that happens
I think
at biscuit and sweet level. Wait, that happens at biscuit and sweet level, Indomie and egg level, 1,000 and critical level, 15,000 level. It happens at every level where someone feels like, okay, I want to continue. Okay.
I think one of the narrative that Jago was pushing was the fact that she presented herself as something that she was not to him. Like, look, I know it sounds silly. But and that is why I'm even buying into the scam pretext, like in any form. Like it does not make sense. But
no, let me ask you a question. We can't just be jumping all of these statements and not analyze it and like pick the context so that our viewers can understand.
See why I say,
when you say,
wait,
listen. No, I don't mind it going for as long as ever. We've only spent like 37 minutes on this podcast, so we can go up until and then we just cut it into two. The sport part and the non-sport part. So let's take our time. So when you say, no, listen now, when you said she presented herself to be something that she's not, and I'm like, that means that, he said, okay, no guys. That's what he said. And I'm like, okay, what does he mean by that? Does he has like a template of the kind of woman? Is it that he was looking for a wife, or I want to understand what will someone say?
Him, in a portion of that snippet, he claimed that their wedding was supposed to be January, if I'm not mistaken. Like, like,
but this is not fair. We're laughing at someone. Teo United. It's not fair.
It's not a case of we are laughing at. It's a case of seriously until people start until people or men in particular start getting it that, you know what, as much as like there are certain there are ways there are certain ways you should okay, so because I don't know how to like put it in such a sentence that makes a whole lot of sense, but you guys be able to like help me here. So it still goes back to like the things that we value as a person generally. Like, I don't know what he was expecting, because he said he presented herself in a way, and I'm thinking like, what way? If you as a person can't understand that, okay, this is who I am, okay, then I at the minimum These are the things I'm also looking for in a partner. And because that I'm looking for these, I don't think, or I don't figure that, you know what, money should be able to buy those things. Then, if not, those things are, in fact, those things won't be a thing of value in the first place. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but it's also a function of value system. Sure, you get, because I don't really know the guy. There's another guy that now made a video earlier today and was like, he brought us like 3 bags, a Louis Vuitton bag and some other bags, and I was like, but 100 million tí Jago sunkún lé lórí pé òun ná lórí obìnrin lélẹ́yìí o. So like like we need to understand that the value system for that particular cycle is different. Like, and it is beginning to fester into the society such that I think some weeks ago or some months ago, we were talking about the fact that girls in their teens, 19, 20s, would now audaciously alter the statement if you don't press clear. Like, there has been precedence to this kind of culture that is festering and infecting our society. Sure, you get, like, it makes no sense. Like, to me, like, it would never make sense to me anyway. You meet a lady in 2 weeks and you spend over 100 million. Like, is she an orphan? Is she
even if she's an
an
orphan, see,
NGO project?
Even an offer,
I
even an
think-
offer,
I think-
even
I
an
think
offer, no
we
fit
have-
have a-
I think we have an agreement here. I think we all have an agreement here. I don't think we're arguing about anything particularly. I think we have an agreement here that we agree that spending like that on someone you are not married to or you don't know that much is reckless, and you can only spend with that kind of intensity because you are not sweating the way everyone else is sweating for their money. Even billionaires, people that I believe that are billionaires that have money, that have companies that have built their wealth over years, 20, 30 years, not all of them are reckless with their spending like that. You know, some of them might, because, you know, yes, I can afford to, you know, whatever it is I'm spending on you is not in the grand scheme of things that much. But most of them are still prudent with their money because they know that they understand the value of actually getting money. They can put a value to it. For every dime you make, you know the amount of effort you have to put in. You know the amount of time you have to sit in front of a PC, study something, learn something, work on something, bring forth a result, spend hours, do extra hours to make sure that everything comes together for you to get that money in your account. So you understand the value of your account. So you're not going to be giving anybody 100 million for them to use to over spending on frivolous things. So I think we cannot agree that we don't have any mercy for him, because obviously, for
Definitely.
whatever way he has generated his funds, he feels like the fund is at his disposal. I can spend as he likes. That's what different. I think what we just want to correct is that the idea of trick or no trick, the idea of presented in a manner or not presented in a manner. I feel like so far the person did not expressly lie to you to collect money,
or
which
they put
is
a gun
fraud.
to your head.
Which is fraud. And lying to you to collect money is like, okay, somebody is in the hospital sick, you want to pay for surgery, then there's nobody in the hospital, and then maybe they ask you for 10 million and then you send 10 million. That is different. It's a different ball game, because that one you are doing because, okay, this person is sick or whatever. But pay, okay, maybe she wants to buy air, and it's normally maybe 500,000. She told you 2 million and you sent it. That's like, I don't understand. That does not even make sense in terms of him complaining. I don't understand what he is actually trying to get. And I just saw a story where the guy said that the toasting girl and his ex-girlfriend, they had a conversation that they wanted to date him together. So he's a stupid fellow. You want to date two of them together, but you don't want to pay 100 million. If you see, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. How can you claim that you want to date two people together and two of them have agreement? Women in Lagos, they have agreements that, okay, yes, let's date him together. That's
It's a cordial polygamy.
men that marry two wives. They marry two wives because they can afford to marry two wives. Not all of them, shall, but the ones that go ahead to say, okay, I want to marry a second wife, is because, okay, I can take the responsibility of marrying two wives and spend in both sides. You now say you want to date two Lagos baddies. I don't know what his second babe looks like, but from this babe's page, she's like an Instagram influencer or whatever. So you want to date Instagram influencer and you don't want to spend. Uh-uh. Yeah. Yeah, you are joking. That's what I just say. He's joking. I don't no sympathy for him. You can't say you want to eat over Jebelefu and be okay. It does not work like that. Steelers have scored. Okay.
Yeah, it's just quite heartbreaking and heart wrenching to see stuff like that on the internet, because I feel like we as a society we should have transcended beyond stuff like that. Like for me, it's just simply mind numbing. Like
Bright, your choice of words, I don't agree. Heartbreaking, heart wrenching,
yes, it's heartbreaking now. Like
breaking heart.
like
And
wait.
and let me tell you another reason why there's zero sympathy or zero pity for him.
Thank you. That's the word I want to
He's
hear.
people, he's
No,
people
like,
like him. He's not heartbreaking,
it's
Kankan. He
heartbreaking
deserves
because
it.
everybody
Thank
can
you.
do something.
It's not heartbreaking, Kaka.
No. He's not heartbreaking at all because it's people like him that will make you send 30K from your regular
From
schedule
your
your
exactly from your
From your
admin
to someone, and it will be hard for them to tell you thank you or for them to see it. It will be hard
Do
for
you-
them to even tell they
do
say.
you know
You can
how
see,
foolish?
and sometimes you're in your mind you're thinking that okay, yes, I can send more, but let me even just
Yeah.
let's send this
Let's
one to
see.
even
Let's
see.
see.
And then to open mouth and say thank you or to appreciate or even to confirm that I saw your money, of which your mama for house and your aunties
That's the point I
you
wanted
send
to say.
them 10K or
Oma
50K,
Gbadura fún ẹni.
they go call you, they
Should
pray for you.
I
So
shock you? I don't know
it's
how
people
true.
like him.
I don't know
It's
how
people
true
like
this is, though. But they said he released a video later on whereby he took, I think he gave his mom money or something, and then there was a video to that. I'm like, now is this now turning out to
why
be
are
a
you
scheme or what?
why are you showing your mom?
Why are you
giving
not showing your
10K?
mom now? All of a sudden, like,
See, it's people like him that will make a babe that does not even know how much you are earning, what you are doing to send you that they want to buy air or 700K, and you're like, what's going on here?
Salary me.
What's happening here? Even if I have the money, like
Polish is sounding like someone that's talking from experience.
no, it's not even that. It's
no,
just
no. Bolish
observation.
has friends now, and he has friends, he has people around, so
And
he probably has seen a lot of things. You
on the
read things.
timeline.
It's not
You see
necessarily
what's
that it
going on.
happens to you. You
I be
see
like,
a lot of
what?
things.
You
You
hear
see a
some
lot of things
stories
that
like, what's going on here? What's happening? So, there's no pity at all. Oh. There's no pity for them. There's no pity. Anybody that chop anybody money, chop his money. And anybody that now have sense to know that okay, this is December, buy rice and send to your mom, buy oil and send to your auntie, buy chicken and send to your family members so that they can eat and pray for you. Then I don't know what I'll tell you.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's still all part of the value system, man. So you want to tell me that you prioritize your family, like you prioritize a lady over your family, people that will actually, I mean,
And
they love
the funny
Abba.
part. You know the funny
But
part.
that's the value system of these guys now. Okay, now let's drop it down a level. We've seen guys that they are balling, they are going to the club, they are spending 200K, and their mother still lives and is cooking with firewood or in a mud house. Like you must have seen or heard of somebody like that. So it all still boils down to their value system, like their way of life, the way they see life, the way they value their value system. It's just value system. Like, what do you prioritize? What do you think is more important? Do you think it's more important to go and buy a champagne of 300K and be pouring on a wristwatch, whereas your mother is still looking for a way to fry akara to make ends meet? I've seen a lot of them. So Jago is just like somebody that is playing in the Champions League to those guys playing in the Conference League. Like, it is what it is. The only thing is they just keep advancing. The more money they can afford to waste on frivolous things, the better for them.
And another thing to add, maybe before we move on from this topic, is that if it's possible that the reason why he ended up spending that kind of money is because over time, maybe she was not giving him attention. but she was not. She was
No,
giving.
wait. Let me give you proof to that. He was saying it in that video that there are sometimes she will block him, and he would send her like 1 million for her to unblock him.
Unblocking.
I am very serious. Like I am very serious. You guys need to go and watch that video. Like
And,
from what you're saying,
and you say it's heartbreaking. No, don't use heartbreaking.
No, it's heartbreaking because that money can be used for something more significant. Like can be used for something more impactful.
Like nine money, nine no, tell United. You send someone 1 million to unblock him. Where is always block back?
Like she blocked him on Instagram. She's not. Sometimes he was not saying it like he has seen a pattern in it. Like where anytime she just unfollows him like that, he will now send that 1 million. That just follow me back. Like it's very pathetic. Like it's a very pathetic. Like,
I can't watch that video.
Let's say, listen. Let us do the math. So let's say out of the 100 million that he said overall, the lady scammed him. So can he put it block her like 50 times?
So that's like 50 million.
MMM.
You see that blocking is a good business. You see that
blocking is a good business. Well, blocking is a good business. So make a request.
MMM. That's the explanation. This has to be MMM. That's the only explanation.
Like,
that's to be MMM.
Let's say you begged him in a year 50 times, and 50 times does not say maybe in 3 months.
The guy. I don't think the guy. Let's move on, please. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah,
this is the lower my IQ. I swear. Sorry.
Oh my God.
You can't even lower my IQ because I not going to spend time to watch something like that in the first place. The one that's just funny to me is because as I googled the lady's picture, the first picture I saw, I'm like, oh, so this person that scams on 100 million. That's number one. Then I now saw the picture with filter and wig and this, and I said, oh, okay, I understand. That's number one. The number two, and I saw is another news where the guy was saying the girl and his ex-girlfriend, they both decided that they wanted to date him. So you want to
my
question is
my question is
about industrial sugar and natural sugar that will affect you.
My question is, what is happening in that Lagos?
Like there's a lot of things happening in Lagos. So I was telling somebody, I think we were having this discussion about Teza Ekong, and people were like, I'm like, guy, stuff's worse than this is happening in Lagos. The only thing
maybe not on video, but I can.
The only thing is there's no record, there's no evidence.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
The only reason why Bateza own became like headline was because it was in the public.
Video.
There's like she gets like there are many people that have video recording that would never get out. She gets if according to claims, if it wasn't like they were investigating him, they would never have seen those videos or released those videos as
it's so funny. 400 videos. I mean,
no, it's some people just have crazy fetish like that. Like some people just have like these weird fantasies, and they would always have this urge to do those things. You get like, because it's a different thing to sleep with 400 women or to have sex 400 times. It's a different thing entirely to have 400 different clips. So it is just an obsession for him. Like he always wants to see himself, and you can see it from the recordings of how he looks at himself. Like he's like, I mean,
the way I see it is probably he sees it as I've conquered something today. Like
exactly, like it's like a gladiator now. It's like Spartacus.
It's a gladiator Spartacus. Like if he feels some type of way, he feels strong. Like okay. I'm like, man. I mean, it just goes to show like the things we all value are different, man. To be honest.
Exactly. So it just depends on what you see as priority, and because someone like Bateza, money, he has money, power, he has power. So when you get to that level, like you begin to chase other things. So yeah.
What other news is happening again? What do you say?
I think the other thing I wanted us to talk about is a more polarizing topic. I don't know if you guys have seen this video that has been making the rounds again on Twitter. It was a portion of the Nedus podcast, where where I don't really know the genesis of the conversation, but then they were talking about um who should rule Lagos. Should leadership of Lagos be specific to Lagosians? What is your definition of Lagosians? And all of that. Like, it got me thinking, and I would like to just hear you guys' thoughts on topics that are a little bit polarizing like this, because as mushy as this conversation is, these are conversations that we should have, and we should like come to good understanding to better um, address these pain points. Because I noticed from the last election, these issues have been lingering for decades, but these issues are issues that we've all shied away from speaking about publicly for reasons I don't know. But I feel like the earlier we have these conversations, the earlier we are able to define these lines, the better it is going to be for the next generation. Left to me, I think there's nothing that can be done to this generation. We are going to have this conflict till maybe we pass it on to the next generation. It was
Conflict
passed down to
about
us.
what?
Conflict, ethnic, ethnic, ethnic disparity, ethnic conflicts. Like, we are not an homogeneous society. So I don't know. I don't know if Akin is looking like Akin has not seen that video I'm talking about.
I haven't come across that video, but I think I can just like share a bit on like, I mean, surrounding the topic in terms of like reasons why we are not homogeneous. I feel like Bolish has actually times without number on this podcast talked about it and how like the politicians actually use it as a tool amongst many other things. We cannot be homogeneous when we have separate religion, separate ethnicity, separate you understand these categories of like separating or segregating people. You cannot expect then the same people to be homogeneous or to have one collective voice and say, okay, we all know probably politicians are not doing the best for the people, then let's like wage war against them. As long as you have these different entities, you can never have an homogeneous what's it called, collective effort. It's not possible. I'm just saying it's hard. It has always been like that. It's just how the world has been created or how people have just chosen to diversify as people. So it's crazy. That's, I mean, that's what I have for now, to be honest.
Yeah, Polish. You've always been somebody that has been vocal about stuff like this. Like, you've had, I think on this podcast, if there's anybody that talks more about issues like this, that person has to be you.
So, rephrasing from what Akin said earlier, which is when we do breakdowns by ourselves and we kind of look through the mirror. For example, there was one guy that was relieved of his duties as a spokesperson or special advisor or something to the Lagos State Governor this week or last week. One read one guy, and the reason why he was relieved of his duty was that he made statements like some of the NSAS survivors were targeted or they were like almost like the government was looking for them to assassinate them. That was the way the comment came across. That was the way the comment came across. And then some news publications carried that comment and spread everywhere. And the guy was relieved of his duties as someone who's maybe media person or spokesperson. Why am I bringing that guy up? That guy is one of the controversial of the biggest controversies you can think of on Twitter. And that guy is one of those people that when you see a tweet, anytime you see a tweet that says, oh, no Igbos should breathe air, or no, this one should do anything in Lagos, or this one, go and look at the guy. The guy is probably the one that tweeted it or retweeted it. So, and this was leading to the election, and that was the controversy they wanted to make. They knew that the only way they could, cause some dissension and make those ripple effects flow down is to have those kind of big gigantic statements that have no bearing or no meaning or anything like that, so that everyone can, take a bit of whatever they want to take and then start going along with it. And it's going to be a difficult time educating people who are not willing to get educated about issues that are important, in terms of, oh, this is why this does not make sense. This is why this comment does not make sense. This is why this is actually not factual. And also, the other side also fall victim of the bait that was, it's a who can bait situation. The bait that was laid by some of all those propagandists before the election, and that tug of war has carried on the conversation online through since the election even till now. I'll ask you a question. When was the last time you saw anybody berating Fulani herdsmen?
A long
Have
time
the,
ago.
have the Fulani herdsmen, have they disappeared? Are there no more killings in the settlements? Are there no more attacks by the herdsmen? And if those attacks are no longer existing for some reason, why?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the kind of questions that, if you really think about Nigeria, those are the kind of questions you probably have to be asking yourself. That, okay, we spent the last 8 years under Buhari, and everything we talked about, if you
Boko
just
Haram,
Google search
Boko
or
Haram,
Twitter
and
search,
Fulani herdsmen.
Twitter, and the conversations online is Fulani herdsmen, Fulani Kinikom, Mietiala, this, that, doing this, that. Now, I'm not saying that this pocket of problems don't exist in different places. Everybody have the different issues that they are facing. But it's easier to unify a group of people against an enemy that they all believe is below them. What do I mean by that? One of the tactics that America has used over time in their politics or by their politicians is to make the average low income white person feel like, yes, you don't have proper health care. Yes, you cannot afford education. Yes, you are struggling to, get housing. Yes, you are the one majorly affected by the homelessness crisis. But you know what? You are better than black people. You have privilege. So once they can drive that message into their head, anyone else that comes with a message that says, "Come, I want to give you healthcare." Let's just say healthcare. I want to make sure that I want to give you healthcare so that, for pre-existing conditions, you don't have this problem, you don't have this thing. For this provision for insurance, you don't have this. So far, the person is not also attaching the message of, I also think that you're better than black people. They will not accept that message. They will not take that message. And this is not a message of 2024. This is a message that has been used over the years to continue to keep the low income white earners where they are, because they are not enjoying. I don't live in America, but when you observe, you listen to news, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them together, gather your information, you discover that they are not really enjoying the country. They aren't. They are struggling to make ends meet in their country. Yes, America is a capitalist society. The 1% of the 1%, they earn a lot of money, and they earn good money to make sure that they keep earning a lot of money, and they keep the other people where they need to be. Some middle class people, income earners are there. But the only way that can continue to function and succeed is when you're able to make it stick into people's head that these are the people stopping you from getting what you need, and this is the only reason why you are not getting what you need. So far, these people who are like this, like this, like this, you will not get what you need. Once they're able to pass that message and make phrasing that message, it now becomes a way of life for them to continue to do things. So it's the same way in Nigeria when they want to phrase some certain contest and make sure that people don't focus on the issue and focus on the fact. I remember during the election when people were having conversation around what's it called? Around tribe. I was like, why are we even get to the point of tribe as a conversation when this guy cannot even coherently say what he wants to do? This guy did not even tell you, I want to do this. Before we even talk about tribe or no tribe, let's even forget about why are we getting to that point. So, but they know how to, because you need to understand, as crazy, as inexperienced or uneducated as those politicians look, they are also very well exposed. Some of them are they have psychologists majors working on their team. They have people with different kind of behavioral experts that work for them, that give them different kind of. Some of them have enough funds that can get Cambridge to do research and do papers and do work, do things that will give them an idea of, okay, if I want to ascertain get this aspect, what will I do? The number one thing we are not focusing on in this current cycle of our country as generally is not even about the renew argument or the tribalism or the religious, by whatever it is that we want to call it. That's not the main thing. One thing we are not focusing on is the deliberate and intense attack on the education of every part of the country. There used to be a time where in the middle western countries, southwest, which was the major part, people had free education, even up to university level. And even when you get to university, your tuition was really, really low. And they went to go and copy a system from America that said, okay, come and borrow, what's it called? Come and borrow loan that the government the clinic cannot pay. They told us that, okay, yeah, the government cannot afford to pay all the subsidy on education, blah, 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 because whatever is is required. Fine. They did not specify. They did not tell us that, okay, there are actually other countries that pay subsidy on education. It's not America is not the only country existing in the whole world. There are other countries in the world that pay subsidy on education. But they told us about and you are saying someone to come and borrow 500,000 for an economy where the current graduate can never get jobs of 80,000, 90,000. So there's a deliberate attack on education. Why? If you bring down the collective education of people, bring down the collective level of intellect of people, what you have is a bunch of people that can not have a say for themselves, that cannot reason, puppets that you can do anything you want to do with. Yes, if you once you do that, so that's the main one they are doing. They are doing that because now there's still some pushback now as they are making some of these narratives. There's still some pocket of pushback everywhere. At least we are pushing back on that narrative about this, that. We are pushing back. But if you are able to bring that level of intellect and intelligence to a level where you have a large populace that can't even think for themselves, then you have a situation whereby you can push a narrative and to just fly and to just take like wildfire and to go across the country and then can incite violence just by pushing a narrative. So that's why there's a serious attack on education. I hope, I don't know what can be done, to be honest. I don't know what can be done because the budgeting that has been allocated to education is poor. The infrastructure behind education is poor. Our education curriculum is outdated. Our educators are not compensated properly. ASU has been fighting for. Yes, I know the ASU platform is not the best, or what they do is not the best, but they've been fighting for some of the agreements they've made for years, and still no compensation has been given. They have not got some of the compensation they've been fighting for years. So me, I'm not really. I keep trying to what I'm used to root cause analysis as an engineer. When you work in the data center, if something happened, they'll tell you, okay, why did it happen? Then you have to drill down to make sure that it doesn't happen again. The root cause or the what they are trying to do is to make sure that they bring down the level of education to a level where just by pushing the narrative, they can get to anything they want.
Yeah, as sad as the whole thing is, I feel like these are the kind of conversations we should have more, because this is what will make us better as a society. Now, um, we can see how we can see and unsee how that played out in the United States, because a lot of people don't know, but why Kamala Harris was why Kamala Harris and the Democrats were pushed out majorly was because of their overreach as a government. Was because it was beginning to become an autocratic kind of democracy that they were trying to push. Is either our way, or we we push you away, to the extent that in my industry we had founders that were debunked. We had people that they had no access to the banking system. The government just instructed the bank to cut them off. Like, and it's very funny when people try to make comparison with government and everything they just do is try and copy and paste, try and look back at the United States. And I'm like, the more you do all of this, the more you copy many faults. A system that is not steady, a system that is very faulty, you are trying to superimpose it on your environment that is not even conducive. So it's crazy the grip that politicians have, and it's very appalling to see that the dumbest of us are the ones actually controlling. And I fully agree with what Bolish is saying with the attack on education, because imagine when we graduated. Imagine how backward our curriculum was. We were studying Fortran. Oga, what can you do with Fortran in this present time and age? Like, like imagine how backward we were then, and we graduated some, if I'm not mistaken, some 9-8 years ago. So
Very few of those lecturers, even Bolish would say it in their department, had knowledge of like modern programming language. Bolish, am I
like,
lying?
See,
and
let me
and
let me
this
let me
Eh,
give you let me
Bolaji,
give you
because I know Bolish has a lot to say about that particular statement you made.
let me give you a story. We're in one class one day. I will not mention the lecturer's name. Ufuruko Bulashi. So the person was talking about input output devices, and this was in 400 level, not 200. I think 400 level of final year. I think 400 or 500, either 400 or 500. It was not 300. Was that 400 or 500 when they all? And then we were talking about input output devices, right, for computer. Mind you, we're in computer
like
department, the computer science and engineering
that's
department.
secondary school. That's secondary school
Chill
computer
now,
science.
chill. And then the lecturer was asking for answers for call out of answers. Number one, the first problem was the document she was using to teach the class was like an old paper that someone wrote. It was old, wrinkled, like that this was
Mm.
something she collected from someone. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part was that when someone made a call out and she was asking for examples of input output device, and someone said HDMI, and she was like, "What?
What?
Let's say HDMI. What's that?" So we thought maybe she did not hear what the guy was saying. It was Dunsin. I don't know if you guys know Dunsin.
Yeah, I know
Dunsin
Dusi.
Yeah, yeah.
was the one that was shouting HDMI. And after a while, everybody now kind of got that.
Understand that
Like
this
Oh,
man
it
is
sank. Like it sank in
this
that.
woman
does
This woman
not
does not know what an
can hear
HDMI
what
is.
he's saying, but she does not know what an HDMI is. And she's teaching us input output devices. There's another one. I won't mention his name. I think I've collected my certificate. They cannot collect it back. Ola, it was our part advisor, because advisor. Ola Jubu, I forgot his name. Sir. It's Ola Jubu, Dr. Ola Jubu. He was teaching us computer networks. And it was in 400 level, he was teaching us computer networks. And at that point, me had already done the first batch of my CCNA. I had already done like slight internship with IPNX. They are the ones in charge of, not IPNX, IXPN, sorry. IXPN, they are the ones in charge of foundry network in Nigeria. So all the ISPs are connected to ISPN to ensure faster internet and catching of all our browsing history. So they do stuff like that. So I've already done like a small internship with them before I went for my full internship in 6 months. I got D in that course. Why? Because I was not comfortable answering with the answers that were provided by this man in the question.
Hmm.
Like you could tell that this man has never been in a data center or worked on a networking equipment, and was teaching us computer networks. He was saying so many crazy things that I was just picking up from textbook. He could not even understand. Imagine someone that has never done any kind of network configuration telling you about subnetting. It might sound like I'm speaking Spanish, but trying to explain subnetting to you, he will not be able to explain it because he does not even know what subnetting is in the real world and what it does. So he's just looking at the textbook and seeing, and subnetting, there's a bunch of numbers, a bunch of binary 111, but that's not how to actually explain it. It's the real world application of subnetting that you use to explain. But this guy was using, the binary code to explain
Binary
subnetting
code.
to us. Do you understand? Like, see, I, I I can go for days if we are talking about this curriculum, being down and out and stuff like that. But the fact that they are not even attacking the curriculum, they are not even providing enough funding to even the curriculum, as backward as it was, at least we say, okay, it gives the foundation for you to now go and learn some other things and improve on your knowledge. But they are not even denying people who don't have money the opportunity to even get access to that curriculum, because our institution is now crazy now. Before, when we had, I'm sure each and every one of us had a couple of people that we knew, whether in the hostel or in department, that they were not the most buoyant. You see some people that they will survive the whole semester with 5,000, but because their parents can manage schools to pay the school fees, they'll just manage and come to school, and they'll finish with some of the best results, and some of them are doing well now. Imagine all those people did not have the opportunity to even gain access to the education in the first place, because now the tuition is 200,000 and they have to go and look for a guarantor that is level 16. Some of them are poor because they don't know anybody that is working as a level 16 officer in the bank. Some
In
of them
the
are
first
coming from
place.
farm, from Oshogbo, Saki, or inside Oyo to come and school, and then it's just from what they do, they pay attention, they learn. We know serious or school, but those ones, because those ones pay all the attention, finish school, and then they're able to help themselves, help their family and stuff like that. You are denying all those ones. You say they should go and collect loan. So those are the kind of things that I don't know. I don't know how we navigate what they are trying to do in this country, but it's
Hmm.
dangerous.
It is dangerous. It is really, really dangerous. It is well. But I just hope that soon everything will be all right. I guess we can only hope at this point, because even people that are supposed to champion this change are now collecting 100 million naira to pass propaganda on the internet. I don't know how true that is, because I think a lady came online and she was like, all the northern influencers have been paid bountifully to come and push another agenda. And I'm like, for how long will we keep doing this? Like, for how long? How long would we sleep? And when would we stand up and say we are taking our country back? So I know I've said it times without number of this pod that anything in Nigeria, I know they won't involve, but you people, I kind of became the moderator today, so I just had to anchor this. Yeah, guys, I don't know if there's still anything you guys would like to talk about, but I think our time is fast spent, and I feel like we've dropped enough value for our audience.
I,
Yeah, I think
I, I agree too.
we can end from this spot. Steelers are currently destroying the Bengals, so that game is kind of over.
I don't think those guys can make playoff anymore.
They don't deserve to make playoffs. If you have that poor defense, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. So I think we can end here for today.
Sorry,
All
sorry.
right,
Has the Bengals ever been? Have they ever been good?
of course. they,
They
they are
got
a threat.
the Super
They are a
Bowl.
threat. They
What
are a
year was
threat
that?
to Chiefs then that year.
They got to
Man.
Super Bowl is it 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a game on my phone, NFL Rivals. They're always the last. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. There was a period where they were the laughing stock of the AFC. Then they signed. Then they brought in Joe Burrow,
Joe
and
Burrows, yeah.
their fortune changed. So since Joe Burrow has been there, their fortune has improved.
John
They were,
Burrows and Jamar
they got to
Chase. Yeah.
they got to the Super Bowl. Then I think they got to the AFC Championship game also.
Mm-hmm.
They got to the AFC Championship game. Then again, he was injured, so they didn't have a lot of wins. So this season, he was back. He's back from injury, but their defense has been very poor, and they didn't start well. So they are currently 4-7, about to go 4-8, and probably not make the playoffs. But they have a good team. They have, they have like a top 5, top 10 quarterback. They have a top 3 wide receiver in Jama Chase, another solid guy in T. Higgins.
Who's here?
Trey,
Who's here to be given a contract? And I mean, it's crazy what they're going through.
if they do mistake and allow Jama Chase to go, they'll
It's
suffer it
all
for
over.
400 years. So, imagine someone like who can I think of?
I think it's a good thing for him actually that they've not even given him a contract, because then
He can
his
request more.
negotiating power, yeah, will be crazy.
Now he can request more because there are many teams that need a light winner on the X. So imagine a team like who are those teams with young quarterbacks? Those are the ones that that will pay enough to get him. Jaden Daniels, pairing
No,
with Terry McLaurin.
Jerry Daniel has a good receiver already. So
You can pair him with Terry McLaurin. Not too much.
oh,
Eagles have AJ Brown
left
and
and the
Devonta
right
Smith.
hand side. Yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah,
totally
that
understand
you
you.
playing with
Dual
you
threat
make
up front.
then Patriots like Drake May is actually balling even without an offensive line. So Patriots get Jama Chase to Drake May. You never
No,
know what can happen.
I think they should. I think they don't. Those ones have more pressing issues. I like the old line that you're talking about. I feel like they should invest more in that than just the receiver at this point.
All of them will be fine. So
Host,
All right, guys.
sign us out.
that
I think that will be all for